The Department of Social Development says the facility is operating illegally and is urging families not to use it. For more on this, we are joined by ENCA reporter Malungelo Boy. Malungelo, thanks for coming through. Now, you went there earlier this week, and what did you find?
Well, Bravo, we first interacted with the family of Muhammed Sheikh, who had died, who was assaulted at that facility. And this is something that the facility management confirmed to us through its lawyers, that there was an assault that took place. Muhammad had been there for a while. He was sent there to seek help because he had a drug problem. Bravo, let's take a listen at the report that I filed about his assault and also his family choosing actually to switch off the life-saving machines.
Up until Sunday evening, Muhammed Sheikh was fighting for his life in ICU. How he ended up there is at the center of a battle between his family and Crescent of Hope Drug Rehabilitation Center. The father of 3 was a patient at the facility. According to his family, he was assaulted by staff and patients at the center. They were apparently calming him down while he was having withdrawals.
We spoke to a few staff members that brought Muhammad to Leratong.
Sure.
Because they came with it behind the ambulance. And what they said was that, no, Muhammad was unruly, and then they, to put him right, they tied him to a pole and left him there for a few hours. And after that, they put him into the room after he got assaulted and stuff like that. They put him into a room, and they left him, and they opened the door the next day. He was frothing.
Officials from the center reportedly told the hospital the 40-year-old had lost consciousness due to a drug overdose. But his family says doctors have found severe damage to his head, which resulted in a shift of his brain, swelling and blood clots. But there's more.
He had marks on his pelvis, herniation marks and marks on his pelvis, and he had shambok marks on his back. He had a cigarette burn on his hand, and his toes seemed to be hit with a hard object, you know. If he had got into a fight with staff there, is it that staff carries a shambok with them all around?
Sheikh's sister says they will do everything possible to seek justice for his late brother.
We want justice for my brother, and no family should grieve the way we are grieving, and no person should be traumatized and assaulted and hurt the way my brother has been hurt.
Police are trying to piece together the details to fully ascertain what might have led to Sheikh's death.
We are investigating a case of murder currently that was initially opened as assault GPH, whereby the victim was assaulted.
Meanwhile, the lawyer for Crescent of Hope has confirmed that an assault took place at the facility, but says he was trying to get statements from those involved. Malungelo Boy, Magaliesburg.
And it turns out the facility was operating illegally.
That's right. That's what government is saying, that its operating permit actually lapsed in January 2017. But also, Bravo, they're saying that proper procedures were not followed leading up to Muhammad's death. But also,
what do they mean by that?
Exactly. But also, they're saying that this center, they're not specific what exactly they mean when they're saying that proper procedures were not followed into this man, leading to this man's death. But also, what I think for me is more interesting is that they found that this center was not equipped to operate as an inpatient treatment center. So it was not equipped, it was not ready, it was not prepared to take in patients like Muhammad, who actually needed assistance with their problem. The government also goes on, Bravo, and saying that he was not admitted to a detoxification unit to manage his withdrawal, his withdrawals. We heard in that report that apparently his assault by staff and some patients in that facility, they were trying to manage his withdrawals from drugs. He should have not been kept there. There's a unit that he should have been kept to manage his withdrawal. Government saying that they found that that was actually not the case here.
I mean, we've run out of time, but what happened to zero tolerance for these types of organizations? What happened to, the zero tolerance that was promised by the government on the back of the life as a mini tragedy?
Well, it's quite interesting. They're coming out now saying that they're urging family members to make sure that they send their relatives to registered facilities. In fact, Bravo, what's interesting for us is that when we called the department, they were actually not aware about this particular incident. It's when we call them and say, are you aware of this incident at this facility? That's when then they began their investigation, sending officials to look into this matter. And hence now they're deciding to shut it down.
That's where we're going to leave it. Thanks very much. Another tragedy. Of course, thanks to people like Malungelo Boy, who, of course, exposed this drug rehabilitation center, which, as you have just heard, isn't equipped but is also operating illegally. And